Buffs Nation, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. You guys pumped about Michigan versus Washington tonight? Let me know in the comments who you got winning. I got Washington. I've doubted Michael Penix last round. Not going to doubt him this round, but hey, I went 0 for 2 last week, so what do I know? But hit that like. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. And I just want to get on here real quick to talk about some of the rumors that are going on with Colorado. I wanted to give you my take, my opinion on all that. I guess the first big one was Coach Chaney on Twitter made a tweet that he deleted very quickly afterwards, talking about how Jim Leonard looking to be that next DC at CU. I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? And with all the names that we've kind of thrown out that we've talked about, we're talking about Lovie Smith. We're talking about Dennis Thurman, Mike Zimmer. Who else? Ken Norton Jr. Give me Jim Leonard above all those guys. Absolutely. If we're able to snag a guy like Jim Leonard, a guy who has been connected to a lot of programs. Hey, USC. A lot of USC fans wanted him to replace Alex Grinch last season. We're just going to have to see. But I think he would be a home run hire. So I'll comment on this really quick, then get to your comments. Then we can talk about LaJohntay Wester just a little bit. I know that I've already talked about him a little bit, but a few reasons why I really like Jim Leonard. One, I mean, played as a Denver Bronco, so I'm already going to like him because of that. Played in the NFL for a long time, 2005 through 2014. That's 10 seasons. Played safety, smaller guy, 5'8". So for him to play that long in the NFL just speaks so well to his work ethic. And as a coach, been at Wisconsin, okay, where he went to college, was defensive coordinator 2017 through 2022 till 5 games in when I think it was Paul Chryst was fired, and then he took over as interim head coach. A lot of buzz and smoke last year about where would he go. He ended up being a senior football analyst this past year, probably just taking a year to figure out where he wants to go. And hey, I mean, we've seen a guy like Sean Lewis kind of fall upwards in a sense, demoted, play calls taken away, and he still gets a head coaching job and a nice salary increase from where he was at here at CU, and definitely with where he was at with Kent State. So could he see this opportunity of saying, hey, if I do a great job with the Buffs, I mean, this could lead me to a very substantial head coaching opportunity, which I think would be really, really fantastic. Now, Wisconsin, being in the Big Ten, they have years in which they're very competitive, but by no means is Wisconsin ever recruiting a ton of 5-star, high-end 4-star guys, right? No. But I thought this was interesting. Shout out to Yahoo Sports for this. Defensive rankings under Jim Leonard. In 2021, first in total defense, 4th in passing yards per game, 1st in rushing, 6th in points per game allowed, 2nd ranked nationally in yards per play. Yes, is their area of the Big Ten, well, really just the Big Ten in general, outside of just a few teams. A huge offensive league? No, but the fact that you're able to rank this high is incredibly impressive, especially when you're not recruiting at the likes of Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, all that. 2020, 5th in total defense. That's great. Obviously, shortened season. 2019, 2018, 2017. 8th in total defense, 41st in total defense. Not really sure what happened there, but 1st in total defense in 2017. So, even that 41st, substantially better than where our Buffs have been over the last handful of years. Am I right? So I think he would be a guy that could definitely develop talent. Looking at his coaching responsibilities throughout his career, I don't think that he's coached special teams, but special teams player in the NFL. Could he come in here and also coach special teams? Please, Lord. Please, Lord. I think that would be great. And I do like the fact that Jim Leonard, 41 years old, substantially younger than all these other guys that we've talked about. Even Ken Norton Jr., if I remember correctly. I think Ken Norton Jr. is in his mid-50s. So this is a guy that brings a little bit more of that youthful recruiting or youthful coaching energy, and I think it would help him in recruiting as well. So, like, if I'm going to rank all these guys, I would be happy with a lot of the names that I mentioned as I opened up this video. But Jim Leonard's a tier above all those other guys. That's kind of how I see it. And I would be thrilled to have him here in Boulder, even if it is just for a year. Like, let's get this thing going. Let's get our defense in order. Let's get our special teams in order. I mean, I don't even know if he coaches special teams, but surely he can coach special teams better than we had this past year because we didn't really have a coach. So I love it. All right, I'll get to some of y'all's thoughts on this. And y'all be sure to hit that like. What's Guru saying in the chat? Guru doesn't talk about coaching. So mainly just talking about what's going on the recruiting trail. Scobus Daily says he still likes Lovie Smith. Let me know why, because I'm not sure how I feel about Lovie Smith. Tyler Banks saying, be home run higher. Absolutely. Question, does the DC get to bring in his own staff? I think that's more common at the NFL level than it is with college level. So I wonder if he would have say in some of these guys, in some of these position coaches that we've talked about. But from what I understand, with college football, it's still usually the head coach kind of picking those guys, the program picking those guys outside of a DC. There's a little bit more turnover, I feel like, with assistants and coordinators at the college level, just because there's so many jobs and opportunities. And you don't sign multi-year contracts as assistants or coordinators, if I remember. Well, no, with coordinators you do. I think it's just with assistants. So y'all just let me know what y'all think about that. But maybe Jim Leonard, if he is hired, he would have some influence on that. But I don't think that he would have the right to come in here and clean house, as maybe some of you guys would like to see done. Okay. Yeah, Mathis and Hart, they're not leaving. I don't think so. Who knows? Who knows what happens, though? I mean, there isn't many dull days when you're following this team and program. We had a coach leave that was hired after about a month last year. I always forget his name, going to coach defensive line with the Vikings. So we might still see some different changes happen with the coaching staff. But Jim Leonard would come in here. That would be kind of interesting because I would imagine that he would coach the secondary or the safeties, at least the safeties, because that's the position he played. He was defensive backs coach over at Wisconsin as well. Is there some redundancy with Mathis if you bring in Jim Leonard? I don't know, but I think right now there's room for both of them. I would like to continue to get, great recruiters. That has to be something that's part of the criteria. Do I think that, hey, guys that we've discussed, Dennis Thurman, Mike Zimmer, who else? Ken Norton Jr., those guys can recruit? Yeah, I think they can. Will they be hitting the recruiting trail super hard? I don't know about that. I don't really think so. Is it that important if you're going to bring in 75% of new players every year through the transfer portal? No, you just got to be hitting those phones. That's a little bit different than being on the road. But Jim Leonard, because he is a younger guy, because I would imagine that he is very hungry to advance in his career, he's somebody I think that could be hitting those in-home visits a little bit more, which I think would be a great advantage for CU to have. But yeah, I think right now I'd place Leonard above all those other guys right now, for sure. Jim, Jonas, good to see you, man. Jim Leonard is a real coach, David. Love Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, but I don't want him coaching on my team. Yeah, I would probably put those guys below the tier of kind of those older coaches that we've thrown around. It would be interesting, but we can't really afford to risk at the coordinator positions right now. Like we need to make sure that these guys are competent. We can't have a Sean Lewis type fiasco happen this past year again. We got to win games, and hey, if we're going to take a little bit more of a conservative approach with these hires, like on the offensive side of the ball, just make sure we got competency. Hey, I'm fine with that. Let's get that winning record right now. That's what I care the most about. And going back to this, when Sean Lewis came in as offensive coordinator, he brought in an offensive line coach. Now, there was already a vacancy for that. Forget who asked that. So there is a little bit of say that a coordinator can have. We saw how that went, though. Right? If his asking price is reasonable, if I'm Colorado and he's got a top 10 defense at Big Ten school, bring him in. Yes. Home run hire. Thank you. Patrick Hill is who left last year for the Minnesota Vikings. I like Smith because I like the simplicity of the Tampa 2. Yes. And it's important for us to not have those guys on the field overthinking themselves. They need to kind of read and react. They need to play. The best defenses, again, y'all that have played college football, that have coached, y'all let me know. But the way that I see things is, hey, the most successful defenses, they usually run, I guess, like more simple stuff, but they run into perfection. Everybody's doing their job. They got very talented guys in those positions, and you don't overcomplicate things. I'm a Sean Lewis fan too. I wish him well at San Diego State. It just wasn't the right fit. It was like oil and water this past year. And him bringing in Bol Boy, I know I sound like a broken record, but that was a fireable offense in itself. Dude's blaming Kareem Harden for not knowing his assignments when the whole freaking line didn't know their assignments, when the whole group didn't know their assignments. Nah, Bill Boy, that falls on you. You should have been standing up in that meeting room. But right now, yeah, I guess it would be Shermer. We'll see. I mean, I don't know why these hires haven't been announced. We can speculate about that. But I just hope we get the news this week. I mean, wouldn't that be great to talk about? Vagabond saying, honestly, in the beginning, I thought they were going to gun for someone like Will Muschamp or Charlie Strong. Hey, I'd be down with that. Again, like there are a handful of directions that we could go in which I will be pleased. Let's just not get a guy that has never been there before. Okay. Now, if we were to hire Ed Reed or Ray Lewis, I'd be able to, convince myself and find ways to be very excited about that. But there's a lot of risk when you haven't done that before yet in a year as important as this. I mean, we can't afford to have another losing season right now. Let's continue to stack wins. Let's get some competency at the coaching, at the coordinator positions. Let's see. H family, good to see you. Would love to have Lovie Smith as DC, Ken Norton Jr. as co-DC or linebackers coach. Man, that would be fun, man. Yeah, I gotta say, going back and watching the Amazon Prime, Coach Prime season 2, man, it was so cringe, man. And we were all there. I was there, when the Buffs are starting out hot, man. We're going to a New Year's Six bowl, baby. Nobody can beat us, right? Oh man, but it was hard watching that and always hearing Andre Hart talk about how amazing this year is going to be, and then, man, we just lose 6 games. Man, that was hard. That was hard. H family also saying announcement has been made, probably because of the college football playoff. Any announcement made yesterday or today will be overshadowed over the next 2-3 days based on how the media cycle operates. That's why Coach Prime and all those guys are a step ahead of me. I don't even think about that stuff. That's a very valid point. That very well could be the case. Checks out with me. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Leonard has a good history of being competent, right? And very successful. Again, he wasn't recruiting like Alabama, like Georgia, anything like that over at Wisconsin. No, and still putting out very, very good results. Oh, yeah, Eric Morris, you were just talking about that, wasn't that? Wasn't that funny? Buffs News Weekly. Y'all go subscribe to his channel. Sorry, I've been late following up with you. I gotta get some more guests on the show. So let's be sure to connect. There's an amazing profile on Jim Leonard on YouTube that talks about his philosophy, and he talks about how a simple defense allows the guys to play faster. Quite the opposite of Kelly. Yes. Yes. Hey, let's talk about it with the Bears. That Tampa 2. Okay, that was great. Let's talk about Wade Phillips. All those defenses, they like from my understanding, none of them were very complex. Vic Fangio, it's not like he was calling anything super complex or crazy or anything like that. He was just setting guys up to play within their strengths. I think that's what the best coaches do. So I would love that. Sometimes, and I will say, hey, how good would a CU defense have been this past year if it were coached by somebody like Jim Leonard or Lovie Smith or Mike Zimmer compared to Charles Kelly when your front seven is as bad as it was? I don't really know. But I know with the added talent that we got coming in this year, we should be able to take a substantial step. No doubt. And we can't let subpar coaching get in the way of that growth happening. All right. I'll answer a couple of these. Eric Morris going to Big 12 Media Day in Vegas. Man, that would be a lot of fun. Maybe I should see if I could get credentialed. I think that would be a lot of fun. Going and interviewing guys. I'm not really interested in ever going to the press conferences after the game or attending practices or, ever wanting that kind of access. It's just not me. But every blue moon, going and doing something like that, I think that would be a lot of fun. I got to look in to see when that is. And hey, maybe I can end up at Circa 2. RK, Jake, let's hang out. Let's have some fun. Maybe will be some time after Summer League. I have a lot of fun in Vegas. William Barry, good to see you. What's up, Dave? I see Shador going after. Let's talk about this. Going after LaJohntay Wester. Yes, he is a dog. And I also said Jimmy wasn't going to be getting time because he's inconsistent. Hey, I love Jimmy. I love his story, right? But like I said, when you only get 4 wins, everybody's job's on the line. I mean, Corey Phillips said it. If you're putting out bad tape, I'm going to go find somebody to do the job better than you. Okay? That's the pro type, cutthroat type atmosphere that Colorado and a lot of other these top college football programs, they operate like this. Okay? This isn't anything different than that. You're always trying to get better at every single position. And Wester, man, this guy is dynamic. He can also do kickoff and punt returns. Okay. Speedster. And we need somebody with reliable hands. As clutch as Jimmy was in some of these moments where we needed him the most, at the end of the game, in the red zone. I mean, I think he led our team in touchdowns, right? Had a lot of big plays for us. Okay. When the game wasn't on the line, he would lose concentration. We can't afford that. We can't just go into the season next year just hoping that he improves, which I do hope he improves. But hey, let's bring in a guy that's going to make everybody work even harder. Again, I don't got any loyalty to the name on the back of the jersey. I got loyalty to the guys or to the results. Let's get guys that catch the ball no matter what situation, right? LaJohntay Wester can do that. He absolutely can do that. Let's go take a look at the Pro Football Focus. I think I might have already done a little dive on him earlier. And if he does end up committing, I'll do like a little cut up of some of his tape. It's just if I show it on Twitter without kind of cutting it up, I'll probably be copyrighted. And, that's no fun. But let's go ahead and check out the kickoff returns. Okay, he just had 2 returns for 30 yards. All right, ignore that. That's not good. But the punt returns, that's nice. 19.7. Man, talk about a field position flip right there. That's really nice. 14 returns, 14 fair caught, so he knows when to fair catch it. Had a touchdown as well. That's really nice. Return grade 82.6. That's very, very high. I wonder where that ranks. I'll go find that here in a bit. But yeah, he's a guy that would be dynamic in the offense as well as special teams. And let's see what else we got here. Did he throw some passes too? Is that what I'm seeing here? Oh yeah, like a trick play. How do you do in the run blocking? I'm curious. I mean, you're not going to have a very high grade not doing a lot of snaps in the run blocking. All right. Where's the receptions? Come on now. All right, here we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, 152 targets. Whew. 107 receptions. Coming down with it 70% of the time. Over 1,100 yards. Wow. Again, 8 touchdowns. It's very great. And takes most of his snaps over in the slot, if I remember correctly. 319 snaps in the slot, 71% of his snaps in the slot. Then the rest of it's pretty much out wide. Average depth of target, 8 yards. Okay. Only 2 penalties. So that's great. 2 fumbles, though. You got to change that. But he would be a very dynamic receiver, experienced as well, and I think would still have a couple years of eligibility based on COVID. So, yeah, he would add another dynamic receiver to this offense. We got guys like Jimmy Horn, Tarvaris Dawson, that can really make some big plays. But outside of that, from the slot, that's kind of what I'm talking about. But it would be nice to have a guy that honestly is arguably better than those guys. So I think he was ranked within like the top 20 or so. Let's go ahead and look at these stats or like these grades, right? See where Wester was at. Grade 31 in the country. Granted, G5, but still, that's substantially better than anything that we saw at CU this past year. Now, some of that has to do with the fact that FAU was probably giving their quarterback, more than 2 seconds to throw the football. But I love to see it. I love to see it. Okay. I'll go here for about 10 more minutes. Y'all let me know if you have any questions, and I'll get to them. Bodie, thank you so much for the super chat. Really means a lot. Member of the Fellas, the official channel group of David Talks Buffs. Y'all let me know your thoughts on Wester. What's going on, guys? Yeah, this is a great summation right here. LaJohntay Wester, 5'11", 167 pounds, wide receiver, over 1,500 all-purpose yards, 10 TDs, with 6 100-yard catches during this past season. 2,703 yards in 4 years of play, all-conference player of the year 2 years in a row. He's got Jets. I love it. Come up here from the G5 level, have your Xavier Weaver year, then get out to the NFL. All right. Yeah, and I guess you could put both of them in the slot doing some four-wide stuff. Do you guys have any idea of any other tight ends that we should be targeting? I mean, I feel like the portal's a little thin, but man, we need another tight end. TB's saying it. We need some more defensive line. We need another linebacker. We got like 5 spots or so left, so hopefully we can get those guys. Oh, Ra, I need to text you back. Going to be doing a great show with Ra tomorrow. We're going to have a third guest on there. It's going to be very special, so y'all be sure to tune in. Hit that bell notification. It's going to be a fun little panel. You think CU can also get Evan Stewart to go with this guy? I don't think so. I haven't seen any buzz about Evan Stewart or like any rumors with Evan Stewart. Let me check again, though. Did he commit somewhere? I guess. Oh, looks like he's visiting Oregon, going to Dirty Dan. Hey, would make sense. But that would be awesome if he'd be able to come out here. But I haven't seen any steam or any rumors with him. Yeah, if his brother, Jalen Wester, is able to come from FAU as well, that would be substantial. We can dive into him for a minute. Pete Cold, what's going on? What are your thoughts on the Buffs this year? How's Gavin feeling about the team? I love it. And sadly, Jeff Clark from Louisville has already committed to Arizona State. Found that out last night here live. Had me bummed. We're targeting a JUCO tight end. Yes, things are looking great. You can drop us any little hints about OC. I mean, that would be kind of cool. Give us a riddle. Yeah, Evan Stewart will get the bag from Oregon, no doubt. You know what I'm saying is Gregory Genros, 6'6", 230. Jets, very good hands, hops, blocks very well. He is an NFL talent. Okay. I guess you can play tight end at that size. You'd be a little bit undersized in the pros, but you can do it if you're a willing physical blocker. Patrick Williams saying, seems like nobody is satisfied on here. Rome isn't built overnight. And in my opinion, I think we have what we need. I think that's very fair, Patrick. I think when you hear me talk about wanting more and more and more, it's from the criteria, yes, of eventually getting to that point where we're competing for national championships. I think we've made a substantial jump this year in the talent that we've brought in over the last couple months. I think we do have enough to compete in the Big 12. I still have us winning, like right now, 9 games. But if we're going to get to that college football playoff, if we're going to get to the conference title, I still think we need a little bit more juice. But depending on who these hires are, that could definitely help elevate what we have. There's still guys on this team that I would like to see still get time. And I wonder what they could do if you give them adequate, competent coaching. I know this isn't a popular take. I still think Savion Washington is the best right tackle that we have on the team right now. Mike, hey man, good to see you. Congrats on the latest pickup. Coach is acting different, liking it. Hey, there's a learning curve to anytime you're doing something new. So I like it. I like the fact that I feel like we're gonna upgrade with some of these staff members that we're bringing on, particularly at the coordinator position. So, hey, we'll just have to see. I've been thinking about doing a Nebraska specific video here, like scouting the enemy type of thing, here at some point. So be on the lookout for that, maybe this week or next week. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. Lexi just said, "Go Huskies." She's cheering for the Huskies just like I am. Let's see. Let me go and look into this Webster guy here real quick. I might have already done this, but y'all know my memory. Linebacker Wester, Jalen Wester. Oh, wow. He was ranked the 31st linebacker in the country. How about that? Are they twins? We need some more twins. We only have one set of twins on the team. Okay. Interesting. Played about half of his snaps in the box and then half of them in the slot, I'm guessing, is kind of like a star guy. Oh, and he was the one guy rated above DJ Lundy. Wow. Okay. Okay. So then we would have the top 2 rated linebackers against the run this past year come to see you if we're able to get Jalen Wester. Wouldn't that be exciting? I'm about at 6 feet, 200 pounds. So Trevor Wood size? What's Trevor Wood's size? Oh, that is too funny. I'm looking this up right now. Yeah, Trevor Woods, 6'2", 205. So how would he perform going up against bigger guys if he's not putting on a little bit of weight? I guess we'll just have to see. I'll let you experts comment on that, or non-experts. Just let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. If we're bringing in a guy at linebacker the same size or slightly under Trevor Woods, but performed very well at FAU. So that's quite interesting, quite funny. Oh man, it cracks me up. Peter saying, "Bring in Wester." Hey, bring in both of them. Why not, right? Solid goal. Good to see you, man. He's saying linebackers are only great when the guys up front are able to keep them offensive linemen hands off of them. Another wonderful point. This is why I still probably put defensive line right now at the top of like our positional needs. It would be great to have another proven guy in there. Right now, the only proven guy at the Power 5 level that we have on that interior is Chidozie, and we'll just have to see. Alfaru. Oh, that would be so lit to have 2 Trevor Woods starting. Hell yes, straight fire. Man, you guys are cracking me up. But it's a very good point. Solid gold. Just like the running backs are very dependent on their offensive linemen, so are the linebackers with the defensive interior defensive linemen. TB saying EJ Smith went to Texas A&M. Been saying they should have pursued him. Who's EJ Smith? Stanford running back. Oh, Emmitt Smith's kid. Yeah, it would be nice to bring in another running back. Again, we still need more and more depth. But I don't want y'all to get confused. We still have ways to go, but I am still very pleased for how we're building this thing. Yeah. let's get more brothers on the team. We got the Wade brothers. Now we need the Wester brothers, the Wester Wade law firm. How many receivers on scholarship? I don't know. Probably close to 15, but probably 3 or 4 of those guys should hit the portal. We'll see. We'll just have to see. All right, guys, I got to wrap this up. I got to get back to work. Really appreciate you guys hopping on here with me. Hopefully this adds some enjoyment to your day. And enjoy the end of the college football season today. It's kind of sad, but at least we still have some NFL playoffs for the next month or so. But regardless of who takes home the title today, Michigan or Washington, going to be very happy for those guys, happy for those fans. It's going to be great. So y'all have a great day. Hit that like on the way out. And as always, go Buffs.